Hello, this is Frontline here and welcome to a brand new video of Craftaway. In this one, we are actually going to be doing another build on the plot picker. It's been a couple episodes since we've done our last one. Heck, I could probably even run outside right now. If it's not nighttime, it might be nighttime. No, it's not. Right there is the plot picker build. I mean, it doesn't look that great right now, especially since apparently it decided to start raining on us. But that's just because the side is not going to be visible. In reality, it's smack between the middle of two other builds. This is the front side, and if you haven't seen that episode, you should probably check it out. In the top right hand corner of the screen, there's a Craftaway playlist where you'll be able to catch up on all the episodes. But that's unrelated to what we're doing. Well, it's kind of related. It's almost related to what we're doing today. What we are going to do today is another plot, but instead, I believe that I kind of want a challenge plot. I mean, it's a little bit hard, or at least it can be a little bit hard, but I think that I'm up for the challenge. I've done like a couple of I've done two medieval builds, and I feel like I'm up to the challenge. Yeah, this might not end up too great. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try and make this build not look awful, but nonetheless, I do, in the end, want a challenge plot. So right here, we've got ourselves this thing. Step 2, place the chosen color here. This thing is so, I mean, it's cool, but the steps are definitely jumbled and out of order. Once you kind of read them and you're all like, okay, this is step 1, step 2, step 3 type of a thing. It's relatively simple. It's a very nice little circuit that I'm able to have here, or that boy made here. So anyway, what plot do we have? C3R. So we gotta try and decipher this. So C3. C3. Wait. This shouldn't. Actually, this might be. I was wondering if this would happen. This might be the one that's actually next to the build we just did, which would be hilarious. Let's actually sleep. I don't want to go out in the rain. That is dark as well. But that'd actually be kind of funny, just to end up being right next to the plot. I kind of didn't want to be next to the plot, but I also thought, that would actually be a little bit ironic. Well, not ironic, but I'm almost certain it is. Because that's 163. It is this one. Okay, well, townhouse, diagonal faces, storefront on first floor. This building is connected to the one next to it. So, it seems as though fate has decided that we were going to actually build very close to each other. I wasn't expecting that, honestly, but I guess maybe there weren't too many red builds. I mean, this one we could have had too, because this one's also a townhouse. It doesn't have a storefront, though. I have to make another storefront, which is interesting. I'll come up with a design. I'm going to bring you into a sketchbook type world, probably one of my void worlds, and yeah, we'll try and decipher what we're going to do with this plot, mark out what kind of area we have, because obviously with the border lines, it's a very interesting diagonal shape that I don't tend to work with very often. And yeah, we'll see how that works in conjunction with the house that's built next to it. Okay, so here we are. This is our mapped out little area. It's flat. I decided that even though I probably could change the building to go around with the slope in the back, I'm going to do what I did with the build that I did next to it and kind of ignore that. I mean, in the build next to it, I did that accidentally, but I think that kind of works better for the build anyway, to make it like kind of go into the foundation. They would like dig it to try and make it flatter in that kind of a case. It's not like the ground around it. They couldn't adjust a little bit. So right here, it's if you're curious about the dimensions, it goes 3, 3, 3, 2, and then it's 18 blocks on both sides. It kind of creates an interesting little shape. not as much to work with on this end here. It's not 100% symmetrical, which I guess is also one reason why it is a challenge plot. So yeah, let's actually try and work out something here. So the palette obviously is going to be dark stuff, dark stuff. That's the technical term. And then we gotta have like spruce wood. Dark oak wood technically works, but honestly, spruce wood actually is a little bit darker. Man, I've never gotten used to these menus. I kind of am very much more used to the console editions. But yeah, in Bedrock, it's still all right. It's just not what I'm used to. So we'd probably do. Where do we want the door? That's probably the first thing we gotta do. So I would normally want it here, but that's kind of what we did on the other side. I mean, maybe that's not a bad thing necessarily. Having the door in the middle seems almost a little bit difficult to work out, because if we have it be like this, we can probably even have like just a little barrier pillar there anyway, and then we could have like the little entrance with the doors on it, you know. The curve really does kind of restrict motion a little bit. So let's actually grab some like better materials as well. We've got spruce, got the dark oak. I want fences as well. Fences normally are able to help quite a bit. I have a bunch of dark oak fences. So yeah, let's see here. Normally dark oak I like is like a ground inside. It's like it looks good as a building block in some cases for the exterior, but honestly I think that the spruce normally looks a little bit better. So anyway, let's try and not make it exactly like we did on the other building. I want it to be able to be have its own little characteristic. Let's just like kind of build out this pattern here. So we have this. These pillars here I think are going to work, although on this side it's a little bit more tough because I almost want that pillar to be out here so that then I can work on this side, because this side's going to be visible. I gotta remember that. This side is the one that actually will need decorating. This side over here can be flat. This side over here, it's literally just going to be attached to the building next to it. On my previous build, I didn't have to deal with that, but now I kind of almost probably want an indent even. I'll want like to have some kind of a indent with like decorations on the side. So yeah, I'll play with that a little bit more. I guess I kind of have a little bit of an idea here, but it's also not that strong at the moment. So yeah, I'll catch you back up once I have a little bit more progress on what this shape is going to look like. So I made a little bit of progress, and by that I mean I basically finished it. Right here we've got the design for our challenge townhouse. I also decided to build our previous one next to it, just so that we'd be able to see that. I didn't really want to have too many progress updates on this thing though, just because I knew that you guys probably want to see me actually build it on the server. So the process I basically went with was I wanted to have the pillars, and originally I was almost thinking like go with this kind of idea of it jutting out at the front, but I think it's better that it actually juts out the side. So as you can see here, this side is actually going to be outward, kind of like the front of the other one, and that's actually where the path is going to be as well. So the path kind of goes around here. I've got a nice little slanted roof that arcs down. It's a relatively smooth arc, not the smoothest, especially at the top, but it ends up being alright, I think. The one problem I have is that it sometimes becomes a little bit too far out on like this side especially, but if I remove any of it, it doesn't quite look right, so I think I'm just going to have to like stick with that anyway. I wanted to go with something a little bit different than what I'm going with over there. I kind of came up with like this whole entire like window idea. Originally it was going to be glass, but I do kind of like the look of the trap doors just being like this. And they are openable. The windows, you can actually go and look inside as well. So anyway, I'm probably not going to design the interiors at the moment. Right now, I'm not very good at doing interiors in the creative world. Like my previous townhouse design that I did, that one I actually, well, I don't actually have any of like the interiors here. It was more like of a, I built this more of as a way to see what it looks like next to it, kind of like in this kind of a way. I don't need the insides, but when I did build the insides, I built that all on the server first. I didn't really have much of a plan beforehand because all my previous plans, I'm not very good at interiors. So I'm going to have to work on this on the server, and yeah, we'll be able to build that momentarily. So here's a familiar site. Right now we are right next to our other build on our nice little challenge plot that I still am kind of awestruck or dumbstruck or whatever that term might be, that we ended up being exactly right next to our other build. It'd be funny if we actually did like another yellow plot and it just turned out that we would just be like here again. It's like we just control this whole entire like structure. It's just like a monopoly over the whole thing. But yeah. Despite just moving past all of that, I built up the skeleton here. I think they'll end up being quite nice, especially since I have like a bunch of stuff organized. I have like all my spruce wood here. I have more spruce wood in the chest here, as well as some, I think I have dark oak. Yeah, I do have some dark oak wood at the bottom here. Not using too much dark oak, mainly just because it's mostly used for like floors and ceilings. I do, not really the exteriors, but yeah, I'm going to try and like update you guys on this a little bit more, especially the roof, because I'm not necessarily worried about the roof. I'm just like a little bit concerned. Maybe that's a synonym, but nonetheless, it's like I'm mildly interested as to how much it'll go over, because I think it was either like 2 or 3 blocks that it jutted out. And that's extraordinarily close to where this build is. And it may have like a little bit like of a gap right here. They'll be almost touching this build right here. So yeah, I'll update you guys on that. I'll probably build the entire exterior here in a time lapse. And then I'll be able to actually build the inside on camera for you guys to see. Alright, so after that time lapse here, now we have a nice made build right here. I do like the roof on it. It definitely slopes a lot and gives, like, having it be on the side here gives me a little bit more freedom than I had in the middle. The only reason I had such a steady roof design for this was the fact that I knew that two builds were going to be next to it. And it's nice to know that I was able to take on the project of this one here. So I might clean up the roof a little bit still. I know that in the time lapse I did make a little bit of progress since then and cleaned up a lot of it because it was a little bit messy by the end of that whole entire endeavor. So anyway, moving past all of that stuff, we are actually going to start doing the interiors. I have done a little bit of a start, and by a little bit I mean it looks like a lot, but in reality this place is so empty right now. So we obviously have these little trapdoor window things. Depending on what time and what occasion, we could always have these things open. Maybe even have them on the top, depending if I want to do that, just because, I don't know. I think they're actually pretty good at the bottom, just because the face level is a little bit here. It might, like, cramp down so that you have to, like, crouch to be able to see it. So, anyway, I think that those are good. We're going to be trying to renovate this place up a little bit. Let's just start with the ceiling, or the roof, or the second floor. That would be what it is called. So basically how I normally try and do this stuff, how I even did the interiors on the other side, is that I just kind of want to be able to map the whole entire thing out, be able to kind of get rid of all these random holes and details that can kind of mess with the build a little bit, just because although these walls are all right, it's like we don't really necessarily need the diagonals in the inside of the build. They're more designed for the outside. So we're probably going to fill in this wall here if we can with the spruce wood, try and square it off just a little bit here, maybe even go around the corner here. I think what I want to do is that for the second floor, we'll almost do the same thing as that building. We'll have different, what are they called? Bedrooms or just normal rooms in reality. Maybe even connect it. Where are we in relation? We're a little bit short. Well, I actually wasn't expecting to be a little bit short. Let's see actually here. So that right there is this is the hallway. How about we do have a little bit of this diagonal integrity then? I wasn't originally going to, but I think that it's better off if we do this. We cover up a little bit of this stuff, but we still keep that whole entire thing. And that way, what we can do, we don't need this open, but we can just have a staircase of the dark oak here that leads into this building. Although it doesn't necessarily make too much sense from a practical business standpoint. I mean, I own both the buildings. This could just be an extension. Right now we're just going to build a extension property. So yeah, we're able to just kind of fill this in. Actually, we shouldn't fill this in because that would be a waste of space. We should probably put torches in the places that mobs can spawn as well eventually here. So yeah, this is basically the building process of what we're going to be doing. And of course I can craft more of these spruce wood planks. And then I think the roof here, no, it's actually not quite done. What we need to do is fill this in too. This one we're not going to really have too much of the diagonal integrity preserved. And then bam, is this thing visible? It is not visible. So we can do that, and then craft up a bunch of these dark oak stuff, and bam, now we have that whole entire thing. Work on the roof, and hopefully this place will end up looking good. I'll fill this in and then I'll catch you back up in another clip where we'll actually do the interior decorating and make this place actually look a little bit nicer. I've gotten myself a little bit more resources, and we filled in the roof upstairs. So now I'm going to kind of go through my thought process of how I normally do this kind of thing. Interiors are normally best tackled, by me at least, by having the floor plan split up. Having an open floor plan, while it may seem quite nice, the main problem with it is that it can sometimes feel too open and that something kind of belongs there. So one of the easiest ways I can break it up is by having a little stand back here, kind of like a shop corner kind of a thing. I can even like use some leftover spruce trap doors that I had, and I can just, well, not like that, but I can try and face this direction and place it like that so it's able to go in, and then like a shop attendee is able to be back here and assist anyone who comes through. We also kind of need to decide what our shop is going to be for, but yeah, we'll figure that out in a bit. Up here, I have added a little bit of light. That's actually something I kind of forgot about down here. I did add light down here by using slabs in the pumpkins, or the jack-o'-lanterns, I guess they would be called. And that's just a very simple and cheap way of being able to light up an area. It's like they can be done very easily, well, anywhere, but I kind of like grouping them around structures that would make sense, like just having them in like the corners and stuff, and having the middle be lit as well. I like to also have them on these areas here so that each pillar kind of gets like emphasized, like, oh yeah, that's where the light's coming from at this particular moment. I also realized that upstairs, because of these stairs, well, yeah, because of the stairs, the light that seeps through would technically be able to seep through a little bit, but it's not enough to really light up the area up here. What we'll probably do is, first of all, I'm not going to worry about the lights too much right now. I'm going to grab, where is my, there it is, the spruce wood planks. I can create a nice hallway here. Try and keep the whole entire thing nice and open as much as I can, right up until the end here. We might keep something here. There is a little bit of extra space, maybe a painting. I mean, not very many Minecraft paintings look that great in a medieval texture, or basically a medieval build style, but we can kind of work with that anyway. So this is kind of like the same idea of what we have over there, just a little bit slanted. It is a challenge plot after all, and it definitely has a lot more slanting than I was expecting we were even going to have on the interiors. So yeah, we can just kind of fill this all in, and we'll eventually be able to make doorways and different stuff like that to be able to have here, and create lights in like different corners of the room, and make sure that this place is all good. I would say that here would be like a good middle point, and a door could go right here, just to make it simple. Door here as well. So yeah, that's how the rooms are going to work. I'm going to make a little bit of progress, probably finish up stuff, tidy it up, and then we'll be able to show off what the shop looks like in its entirety, and, well, what we're going to be selling here. We don't know yet. It's probably not going to be an actual shop. We're just going to mimic a shop and make it look like it's cool, like kind of like just a fake storefront, just so that this place looks a little bit more lively. I don't really have that many good resources to sell right now. I'm also saving a real shop for a marketplace that's going to be going inside of the main nether hub later on in the season. So yeah, I'm going to cut ahead in the video and show you guys all of that. So here we are, the grand opening of this little townhouse. So as you can see, I put some armor stands here, welcoming people in. This guy's so excited. This one's pointing his way to the door here. And when we go inside, you can see that this is basically just a armor and weapons shopping area. It's not exactly fully stocked. The golden stuff I was able to stock super easily, just because there's a lot of that readily accessible from our mob farms and all that. with the stone, I crafted the stone swords, but I kind of didn't want to use up too much extra leather for this kind of purposes. Maybe I'll eventually stock this up later. All of the items are enchanted, by the way. They're not enchanted with special stuff. They're just kind of random stuff, just so that they're shiny and glowing. You know, they look better for the person who wants to actually look at all the items inside. So, of course, here we've got all the iron stuff. This stuff is a lot better of items. Don't actually have any of the boots. The only boots I could find were the ones that are on this one right here. Apparently, we smelt a lot of the chain armor. So when I was going to the various mob farms, I really was not able to see very many pieces, actually. So I had to do a lot of scavenging and looking around. Probably too much scavenging, but that's alright. I mean, this guy kind of looks like a shopkeeper, but he's not really. The guy kind of working beside it is all like, okay, this is like the model armor stand, going to be able to take care of businesses back here. But yeah, able to go past that and upstairs. Upstairs really doesn't have much, to be fair. These doors should automatically be open. Yeah, that one is. So it's basically just the matter of you have these little areas for like the storekeepers down below to be able to sleep. They're basically here forever. You know, they sign a contract that allows for them to just have these be their living quarters instead of having to rent out different properties or whatever. I mean, that's not necessarily actually historically accurate, but that's nonetheless going to be the lore of this place. So anyway, they also have areas where they can hang up their clothing. I mean, this is an armor store after all. They might even get some free merchandise here. Another armor stand, very basic stuff. Got the clock so that just in case you ever come in here for shelter, you're able to sleep. Maybe set a spawn if you really want to, but you'll be able to check the clock to make sure, okay, what time is it right now? Do I need to sleep? And all that kind of stuff. These doors should always remain open. I keep closing them for who knows why. But yeah, they connect very well here. The stairs on both sides end up making this place link very nicely, in my opinion. But yeah, that is all for this episode. We were able to finish this entire shop in one episode. Definitely was quite, I mean, it doesn't seem like too much of an undertaking, but honestly, I am not normally the type to be that good at doing medieval builds, so this was definitely an accomplishment, at least in my eyes, and I like how this one turned out. I think that it was very good. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, whether you guys like the build, what you want us to build in the future, and until the next episode, I will see you guys all later. Bye.